Hello my friends, and welcome to what is probably my favorite TBR of the year. May is my birthday month, and in the last few years I have declared like the whole month of May time to celebrate my birthday, not in a super shallow everything's about me in May. In my family actually, I have a child that has a birthday on the 1st, my husband has a birthday on the 31st, and my birthday is in the middle-ish, so it's not a month all about me. But I've realized as an adult, you know how when you're younger, you're like your birthday, for me at least, I'd always kind of hope someone asks me how old I am today because I'm like a different number, and the actual day of your birth matters a lot when you're young. And as I've become an adult and that day does not have that same feeling it does in childhood, I've expanded the idea of a birthday to a birthday month. And I just try to do all sorts of things that I like in the month of May. And that way, if I'm rained out from a hike that I want to do on my birthday, which is very common, it can just take place anytime that month. And I really take that idea with my reading. I have such a huge stack of books here because, one, I really love reading, so obviously I want to read a lot during my birthday month, but I also really want to read books that I think I'm going to love, and I have a lot of those. I will not get to all of these. I create a TBR and I mood read within my TBR, and I mood read from beyond my TBR, so it's all just an idea of things I'd like to read, with 3 books that I have to read, and the rest are all fair game. They're the books I'm in the mood for right now, but I mean, there's a month to go here. I might change my mind, but the idea is just to enjoy what I'm reading throughout the month of May, even more than I normally do. So let's get into my TBR. Let's start with my 3 must-reads. The first one I'm going to share is my Kindred Spirit of the Month. Over on Patreon, once a month I pick a kindred spirit, and they get to choose a book for me to read. And so I am going to be buddy reading Murder at the Mayfair Hotel by C.J. Archer. And this is book 1 in a Cleopatra Fox mystery. I got the ebook, I think, free I don't know, at some point. I don't even know when, so I don't remember much. Let's see here. It was the most fashionable place to stay in London until murder made a reservation. Solve the puzzle in this new cozy historical mystery. This is the author of Glass and Steel. So I read the first book in the Glass and Steel mystery on the day we moved last year, which was actually my birthday. So it seems kind of fitting that I read my second book by C.J. Archer in the month of my birthday. So we are set in December 1899. After the death of her beloved grandmother, Cleopatra Fox moves into the luxury hotel owned by her estranged uncle in the hopes of putting hardship and loneliness behind her. But the poisoning of a guest on Christmas Eve throws her new life and the hotel into chaos. That sounds fun. I really do enjoy cozy historical mystery books. What's the first sentence? Moving into a luxury hotel in the world's most dynamic city was just the tonic I needed. I mean, I could probably convince myself that's the tonic I need too. Sounds great. If anyone wants to pay for me to live in a hotel in London, I wouldn't turn the offer down. So that's one of my books I'm going to be reading. Then the Read Your Bookshelf Challenge prompt for May is favorite. So you could read your favorite author, your favorite series, like your favorite trope, your favorite genre. Some people that are doing the challenge have done it so that they're going to be reading a favorite of mine, which is great. I have decided this is the month I need to continue the Mrs. Polifax series. I'm onto The Whirling Dervish, which is possibly book 8 or around there in this series, where we follow this 60-something-year-old woman who has more relatively recently become a CIA handler, agent-ish person, always getting herself into situations. And in this one, we are going to Morocco. And yeah, you should definitely read these books in order. Her character builds and her personal life develops, so I don't want to read too much of what happens because sometimes there are characters from the books that were in previous books. So let's just read the first sentence. This is most definitely a favorite series of mine. There is a prologue. I'm going to skip over that and just read the first sentence of chapter 1. Carstairs sat at his desk in the CIA building and studied the photograph that lay in front of him. Okay, I bet you Mrs. Polifax is about to get another little case, another little job to do. Always so much fun with her. She's smart and funny. Love spending my time with her. My other have to read is the next book in the Anne of Green Gables series for A Year of Maud. We will be reading Anne's House of Dreams. This is the last book in the Anne series that we're going to read for a few months. After this, we're going to take a break and read a couple other books before continuing and finishing the series in the fall. That way, I thought if people wanted to catch up, they could catch up in the summer. If people read less in the summer, then they don't have to worry about that. And in this one, Anne is about to get married. Oh, okay, I feel like it's been a while since I read this series. And yeah, right, they moved to Anne's House of Dreams. I don't want to say too much. I don't want to give away anything too much. I mean, I think people kind of know where the story goes, but I won't read the back at all. I am planning on doing a live for Anne of Windy Poplars. I should tell you when I'm planning that so that you guys can mark your calendars. Let me just pull this up. Okay, my plan is to do it on Tuesday, this Tuesday, May 6th at either 6 or 6:30 p.m. Mountain Time. So I might have that scheduled by the time this video goes up, or else I'll have it scheduled shortly after, hopefully before this goes up. And we can talk about Anne of Windy Poplars. And then I will also be doing a live for Anne's House of Dreams. It will probably be the first week in June or so. Let's see if I can read this sentence. I think I can. Chapter 1 is set in the garret of Green Gables. Thanks be, I'm done with geometry. Learning or teaching it, said Anne Shirley, a trifle vindictively, as she thumped a somewhat battered volume of Euclid into a big chest of books, banged the lid in triumph, and sat down upon it, looking at Diana, won't say her last name, across the Green Gables garret with gray eyes that were like a morning sky. Ooh, didn't want to give a little spoiler there. Not sure Diana's last name really matters, but skip that spoiler. This is funny because right from volume 1, Anne does not like geometry, and I love that some of those little things carry through. So I'm looking forward to spending more time with Anne, setting up her new house, her House of Dreams. I know a long time ago in this story she talked about how she needed trees, and so I'm assuming that will come into her home life there. Now, just to give you an idea, this is my stack of other books that I would like to get to. This does not include, I have some books that I have put on hold at the library. I asked over on Patreon for recommendations for May. Some of those books have not come in yet. And I also did a short asking for some recommendations, so holds will be coming. Some of these are books I own, some of them are library books. Curious to see how many I can get through. A library book I have right now is The Wisteria Society of Lady Scoundrels by India Holton. A prim and proper lady thief must save her aunt from a crazed pirate and his dangerously charming henchman in this fantastical historical romance. Oh, I didn't realize it was fantastical. Good to know going into it. Cecilia is the ideal Victorian lady. She's also a thief. That sounds good. Like the other members of the Wisteria Society, crime sorority, she flies around England drinking tea, blackmailing friends, and acquiring treasure by interesting means. Sure, she has a dark and traumatic past and an overbearing aunt, but all things considered, it's a pleasant existence. Until the men show up. I'm curious, I'm very curious about this book. It kind of gives me Emma M. Lyon vibes. Maybe that's where this was recommended. Someone recommended it on one of my videos, and I looked it up and knew I had to read it. Let's check out the first sentence. Oh, it has a cast of characters just like Emma M. Lyon does in order of appearance. So Cecilia is a plucky young lady. I won't read the rest. Chapter 1, An Unexpected Caller, The Plight of the Auk, Semantics, The Level Moon, Not the Level Moon, The Caller Returns, a discussion of cholera, an explosion, luncheon is served. So that's the, like, what looks like the chapter title, but kind of gives you an idea of what's going on, I guess. The first sentence, there was no possibility of walking to the library that day. Okay, very, very excited about that one. I also am still meaning to finish my read of Jane Austen's lesser works. So Sanditon, I need to get to it. It's not long, just need to spend the time to read it. I've really enjoyed Lady Susan and the Watsons, so hoping to enjoy this one as well. I don't know if I've read the first sentence of Sanditon before. Let's see. A gentleman and lady traveling from Tunbridge towards that part of the Sussex coast which lies between Hastings and Bourne, being induced by business to quit the high road and attempt a very rough lane, were overturned in toiling up its long ascent, half rock, half sand. Yeah, hopefully it lives up to the other two of hers that I've read recently. And then I want to go back and reread all her full-length novel. Some of her full-length novels. I really despised Mansfield Park on my first read-through. Tempted to try it again, but definitely want to read some other ones first. Then I recently hauled this book. I got it from a thrift store. It's T.S. Eliot's Old Possum's Book of Practical Cats. When I shared this book haul, lots of people informed me that this is where the Broadway Cats show comes from. I have no idea. I haven't ever seen anything. Like, I've heard of it, but I don't know anything about it. Interesting how you can make a Broadway show off of a book that's that thin. Let's see if we can read the first line of a poem. The first poem is called The Naming of Cats. Here's the first line. The naming of cats is a difficult matter. Okay, I gotta read more because it's a poem. The naming of cats is a difficult matter. It isn't just one of your holiday games. You may think at first I'm mad as a hatter when I tell you a cat must have 3 different names. Okay. Oh, yeah, and then I needed to throw this book on. Also, there's a few here from my last book haul. The Green Gables Letters. This was sent to me by Shatona. They are letters from L.M. Montgomery to Ephraim Weber, 1905 to 1909. And I am just so curious. Did she first publish Anne in 1908, I want to say? The first one. So yeah, this will be interesting to read. What is the first sentence of the first letter? It's a little bit of an introduction, acknowledgements, general introduction, which is kind of long. Okay, quite long. The letters. My dear Mr. Weber, I picked up a paper today and read therein that sowing had begun in Alberta. Oh wait, what's the date on this? Go back. March 7th. Wow, sowing in, like, this is like S-O-W-I-N-G in March 7th. That seems really early, but okay. So he lives in Alberta. That's kind of cool. I wonder where. I'm going to have to look this stuff up, see if he's he is probably dead. See if he was anywhere near where I live now. And then I have My Dear Hemlock. I also shared this in a book haul. This is apparently a female version of the Screwtape Letters, and a couple of you had good things to say about this one. Inside you will find letters exchanged between the diabolical Madame Hawksrot and her junior devil Hemlock, who are scheming against a young woman's relationship with her creator. They plot to sabotage every feature of her life, from sex to female friendship to empathy, motherhood, and aging. Ladies, this book will give you the eyes to see the feminine vices that hide behind feminine virtues. Interesting. So, let's see here. Chapter 1 is Salutations. My dear Hemlock, I always enjoy taking on a new mentee. I try to say no, but headquarters just keep begging. Okay, I'm very curious to see the whole Screwtape Letters done geared towards the female population. This will be interesting. I'm curious to know if it's set more modern as well. We'll see. One of my rereads I want to do this year, there was 12 that I shared in a video at the end of last year that I want to read this year. I haven't reread very many, I think 2, but I really want to reread Adorning the Dark by Andrew Peterson. This book will not be for everyone, but boy, did it speak to me when I read it a couple of years ago now. Andrew Peterson is a singer, songwriter. He writes nonfiction, he writes children's fiction. He wrote the Wing Feather Saga, which is also now turning into a TV show. He just does a lot of stuff. And this book has like profoundly impacted my life. He has a quote at the beginning of this book that I've kind of taken on as a bit of a life, not motto necessarily, but a little bit of a vision statement maybe. It's in the preface. It's talking about the idea of calling. That calling, as I understand it, is to use whatever gifts I've been given to tell the truth as beautifully as I can. Yeah, so I kind of stole that idea. So chapter 1 is called Bach's Secret Weapon. I recently had a good long phone conversation with a singer-songwriter about the grand old subject, getting started in the music business. So he does talk a lot about music in here, which is not something I can really relate to, but he also talks about poetry, and he apparently describes the 6 principles of the writing life: serving the work, serving the audience, selectivity, discernment, discipline, and community. I'm not really a writer. I mean, I dabble in writing poetry. I don't have a lot in common with him, but if you are kind of creative in any way, which I think we all are, this is a really good book. The subtitle is Thoughts on Community, Calling, and the Mystery of Making. I personally did not love his next one as much, but this one was really good. So I'm looking forward to spending more time in here. And I tabbed it last time I went through, but I didn't highlight anything, and that's going to change this time. Oh, another library book, another 2 coming up here. Dear Mr. Knightley, you guys made me so excited about this one. Apparently this is a Daddy Longlegs retelling, and I'm totally up for that. I love Daddy Longlegs. Sam is, to say the least, bookish, an English major of the highest order. Her diet has always been Austen, Dickens, and Shakespeare. The problem is, both her prose and conversation tend to be more Elizabeth Bennet than Samantha Moore. But life for the 23-year-old orphan is about to get stranger than fiction. An anonymous benefactor, calling himself Mr. Knightley, offers to put Sam through Northwestern University's prestigious Meadle School of Journalism. Meadle? There's only one catch. Sam must write frequent letters to the mysterious donor detailing her progress. I just need to know where this school is. Is this set in England? Because if so, that is the perfect setting, but we'll see. I really enjoy Daddy Longlegs, and so very curious to read this take. And then the other one is by Helene Hanff, The Duchess of Bloomsbury Street, and Ashley from Ashley's Bookshelf. This is her journal entries of when she went to England. Yes, this is Helene Hanff's delightful travelogue about her bucket list trip to London. Oh, this is just killing me. I am going to need a trip after this month if I read all these books. This is when she's invited to London for the publication of 84 Charing Cross Road. Oh man, okay, that will be fun. She's also pretty witty, so that will be good. What is the first sentence of her little journal entries here? This does not start with a journal entry. I'm not sure when they actually start or what this all is. Okay, it's called Up, Up, and Away. Theoretically, it was one of the happiest days of my life. sounds good. I'm there for that. Also a short read, so I will definitely be able to get to it. A couple of classics that I would like to get to. I decided that in May I'm not reading a mammoth classic. Finishing up Anna Karenina as of filming this, and then May I'm taking a break from a big classic. So I thought I could get 2 shorter ones in. First of all, Cranford. Been wanting to read this forever. This sounds like just a take on life in mid-Victorian England. I don't really care. It's Elizabeth Gaskell. I don't really care what it's about. I just want to read it. The first sentence, chapter 1 is Our Society. Oh yeah, I've read this one a few times. In the first place, Cranford is in possession of the Amazons. All the holders of houses above a certain rent are women. It says Cranford explores the dying way of life of the Amazons, unwarlike maiden ladies and widows of a certain age. They practice elegant economies. Their days are passed in visits, cards, and genteel gossip. But along the comedy is the pathos of restricted lives born with courage. That doesn't really tell me much, honestly, but I'm excited to read it. And then I'm going to spend some time with my literary mentor, G.K. Chesterton, and I'm going to read The Man Who Was Thursday, A Nightmare, and finally get some thoughts on this book that I've said before that many of you have had very conflicting thoughts on. And so I'm curious, what is the first sentence? The chapter 1 is The Two Poets of Saffron Park. The suburb of Saffron Park lay on the sunset side of London, as red and ragged as a cloud of sunset. Oh, the word sunset is twice in that sentence. I'm not a huge fan of that. But this is a psychological thriller that centers on 7 anarchists in the turn of the century London who call themselves by the names of the days of the week. Chesterton explores the meanings of their distinguished identities in what is a fascinating mystery and ultimately a spellbinding allegory. Don't really know what I'm getting into, but I'm willing to get into it. A middle grade book that I would like to get to is Blackbird Girls. This actually, I should have started in April because it takes place starting in April 1986. This is about Chernobyl and 2 girls that knew each other before but weren't friends, and I think they form a friendship. I think their fathers were working there, and I'm assuming die. Told in alternating perspectives among 3 girls, Valentina and Oksana, in 1986. That's kind of funny just because before we moved here we lived across the street from 2 Ukrainian families, and one of the ladies' names was Valentina and the other one was Oksana. So I thought they were both pretty Ukrainian names, like spot on. And yeah. And then we also follow Rivka in 1941. This story shows that hatred, intolerance, and the oppression are no match for the power of true friendship. Yeah, those names just kind of crack me up. Like, those are the quintessential Ukrainian names. What is the first sentence? Oh yes, I do remember. Valentina wondered where the birds had gone. Now I'm totally going to have my neighbors in my head. Well, like I can just kind of picture the Valentina that I know as younger, and I'll picture the Oksana that I know as younger. So that's kind of funny. I didn't clue into that until this time. Then there's 2 series that are trilogies that I have the last book to read for each of them, and I would love to check them off this month. We've got Supernova. This is the 3rd book in the Renegades series. So this is science fiction where we've got this group of people called the Renegades that have kind of different powers. I mean, lots of people have different powers, but they run this group that are supposed to be taking care of the community. And it's not the greatest life, and our main character, Nova, infiltrates the Renegades. She wants to assassinate the head guy, or multiple of them, and so she infiltrates the Renegades to do so. Can I read sentence 1? Chapter 1, the first sentence is non-spoilery. Everyone has a nightmare. Okay. We'll leave it at that. It'll be good to get this done. They've so far been like 4-star books, so I'm curious to see where this one ends up. And then also Guardian by Kathy McCrum. I really enjoyed book 1 in this series. This is also science fiction, but this one's set in space. And we have this group of people called the Recorders that are trained to be unbiased observers, and they just record events in life. And our main character ends up being freed from that responsibility through a series of events in book 1, and things kind of go wrong, etc. And then we're on to book 3. I don't remember how book 2 ends, so that's unfortunate. But let's see if I can read. Yeah, I can read this. Sentence 1 says, Sub-Zero surface air hissed through the closing hangar doors. It's sulfur burning my nose, and it's cold creeping through my inadequate black jacket. So I do need to remember the characters in here. It's been longer since I read this, so I can, follow the story. But I need to remember the characters. Whereas the books in the Renegade series I read earlier this year, this one's been at least a year since I read book 2. Okay, I'm going to say that is my TBR for the month. I could keep going. I really could. There's so many other books that I would like to read, but I'll stop there and I will allow myself to mood read within the month of May. Read whatever I want to read. As long as I get my 3 must reads in, which should be a good time, then I can just read whatever I want. So I'm curious to hear what you are reading in May, especially like what did you choose for favorite for read your bookshelf challenge if you're doing it. Did you choose a favorite author, favorite series? I'm curious. And also I want to know, do you celebrate a birthday month? And if not, I would recommend thinking about doing so. I highly recommend it. It's a lot of fun. One of the things I want to do in the month of May is have the drumstick ice cream cone with a waffle cone with a chocolate inside. Just need to take some lactose pills so it doesn't kill my stomach, but it's probably been at least 10 years since I've had one of those, and I've already been looking forward to it for like 2 months. Easy to please, but it makes the month so much more fun. Definitely recommend doing it, and I hope you guys have a great reading month.